Yo, what's up? How old are you?
Hi, sorry about that. I'm 31.
And do you support Donald Trump?
I sure do.
And if you could go back in time, you could either vote for Donald Trump or Kamala Harris. Who would you rather vote for?
Without hesitation, Donald Trump.
And why is that?
What about you?
I would rather vote for Kamala Harris.
How do you think she would have made things different in this? How do you think anything would be different right now?
Well, I think that she wouldn't have done tariffs, which have been very, very bad for the working class. So we would have had a better chance of being able to decrease interest rates, which would have provided much needed relief for working class Americans wanting to buy a house. There would be a better conditions for the job market because tariffs wouldn't have negatively impacted the job market. There'd be better real GDP growth. There'd be better stock market growth. There would be better conditions in terms of unemployment. Why
does it look like you're reading off of something? Is that you? Do you do the same thing as Dean and just read off GPT, or was it ChatGPT?
Dean doesn't use ChatGPT and I don't either. I'm literally I'm looking at myself. I'm looking at myself.
Can I ask you 2 questions? Oh, you're looking at yourself. Okay.
Yeah.
Can I ask you 2 questions?
It's literally me on YouTube and then me on TikTok. And I have nothing else open.
Can I ask you 2 questions?
Go ahead.
And all right, so Charlie Kirk was the main, if you want to call him would you consider Charlie Kirk an influencer for the Republican Party?
Yeah.
All right. Do you consider yourself an influencer of the Democratic Party?
Well, I'm an influencer that says the Democratic Party is better than the Republican Party. But I'm not I'm not propped up by the Democratic Party. Charlie Kirk was actively propped up by the Republican Party.
You don't believe that you're active. You don't think that people actively think you're propped up. But actually, that brings me to my next question. But
the Democratic Party does not prop up Parker get a job.
Okay.
What do you mean? Okay, I literally created this entire platform myself.
That's so sweet. I have 2 questions. The first one is the last thing I'm trying to sound is threatening, but I'm very independent. I have my own thoughts. I like Trump, right? But that doesn't make me anyway. I wondered after 10, 9, 10, excuse me, are influencers such as yourself scared? If it could happen to Charlie, are you scared that it could happen to you?
Well, I definitely am not going to go into public events and do university stuff because it is possible that, people could engage in political violence towards me, yes. You, Dean and Parker, you, Harry, and were the first people I thought about when that happened because, like I said, if it could happen to Charlie, who is such a well-respected man with so much security, all I thought about is this could happen to anyone, and it horrified me. I don't think he was very well respected. I wouldn't say that, but in general, I would just say that given that someone else.
You don't think Charlie Kirk was well respected?
No, he wasn't. I don't think he was well respected.
That's a disgusting thing to say, but keep going.
How is it disgusting for me to say that he wasn't well respected?
Oh my gosh.
What?
The entire White House. I mean, there's a Charlie Kirk.
There's the Trump administration. Of course,
that's just the Trump administration. Those are the people who run our country.
I'm just talking about whether or not people respected him as a whole. That's a descriptive claim. How is that bad for me to acknowledge a descriptive claim that he wasn't well respected? If
we flipped the script, would anyone have any day of recognition for you, Dean? Why do I keep calling you Dean? I'm so sorry. I mean, you guys are all getting very confused. You all say the same shit.
I don't know how we're getting you confused.
The same talking point.
Just because we have similar views on things doesn't mean that we
would anyone respect you if anything that happened to him happened to you. And it's very realistic, and I hate to say that. I'm not saying I would be in. It horrified me for your group of friends or your little tripod of influencers, but if it could happen to him, it could very easily happen to you. So I really wish you would watch what you say.
I never said anything that would put me in any circumstance of harm. I just said that he wasn't well respected.
Are you sure about that? Are you sure about that? I
literally just said that he wasn't well respected, which is a descriptively true claim.
But no, I'm saying all you do is disrespect our country.
How? How did I disrespect our country?
I mean, by saying that I was raised to believe that, I love how your first question is do you support our president, essentially? I was grown to raise, it doesn't matter if he was Democrat or Republican. Of course I respect our country and our president.
Did you support Joe Biden?
Yes. I never wished ill harm on him. I knew he was dying. I knew he couldn't speak.
Let me clarify.
But he was the president of the United States. He was the president of the free world.
Let me clarify what I mean by support. What I mean by support is if you could go back in time, would you vote for him over the opposing side? That's what I mean by support. That's what I mean by support. And also, how am I disrespecting the country by engaging in political debate?
You're not. It's the way you go about it.
What about the way that I go about it?
You literally. I mean, Trump could cure cancer, and you'd be pissed about it. That's the way you sound.
Obviously, I wouldn't be pissed about him curing cancer.
Can I say something? No.
You said that I would get pissed at him curing cancer, which is obviously a ridiculous point.
I'm getting all of you very much. I think that Dean is honestly Dean. Like I said, this is like a jigsaw puzzle for me because you guys three all act the same. But you and Harry are the most obnoxious. And there's a part of me where, like, you know how everyone says that you're so clearly being paid by the DNC? You know how everyone says that?
No, only people who don't know what they're talking about. Like, do you think I'm paid by the DNC?
I used to. I now think you're paid for the RNC because there's no way the way you have 7,000 people on here, almost 8,000 people, and you're sending them in such a bad direction. I'm convinced you're completely paid by the RNC because there's no way anyone would prop you up. There's no way the DNC is propping you up to lead this.
Isn't propping me up. Neither is the RNC. I'm not paid by either.
Yeah.
For some reason,
the RNC may be propping you up.
I don't think that me coming on the live stream, like patiently engaging in an argumentation.
You're not patiently engaging. You rage me. You do a lot of shit. You talk fast. I've watched all of your interviews. Which the way you you do that shit, and then you say thank you for the $20. Thank you for your dollar. Anytime someone makes a point. Anytime someone wants to have an actual engaging conversation is when you rage bait. And I hope you're looking in your YouTube camera, actually like reflecting on that. And I really hope you, from the beginning of our conversation, if it can happen to Charlie, it can happen to you.
Okay. So I think
Are you nervous
thanking
about
people.
That? I think you're the biggest.
No, I'm not nervous right now. But like I'm not.
I hope you're not. I pray for you every single day.
Okay.
I pray for you every single day. Absolutely. I'm sorry for.
I don't think that I'm like showing off like a bad set of circumstances for the Democrats. I think that I provide facts, evidence, reasoning, and critical thought and open dialogue to these conversations every single day. And I think that well, I do. I'm going to finish speaking real quick. Can I do that?
Oh, are you going to cut me off after and then let me go? After you make your 30-second point in like 100 words in a minute? Probably.
I can speak slower if you'd like.
Yes, please do. Speak like a normal human being.
That's how I normally speak, by the way. I'm actually slowed down how much I speak or how fast I speak because it's easier for people to understand in that connotation. But if you need me to slow down my speech at any point, you can just ask for me to do so, right? Can
you please slow down your speech so you don't just overpower the conversation? I would appreciate that.
Yes, I will try not to. So in terms of you thinking that I'm paid for by the RNC, I think this is just like a spite thing because you don't like the type of content that I do and I engage with, and you don't like the arguments that I engage with because of my particular ideological beliefs. And I think that it's kind of disingenuous for you to say that because you don't like my particular ideological beliefs, that somehow I'm paid by either the DNC or the RNC or something like that in general. I think that's clearly just going to be like a point that you're bringing up because you didn't want to engage with any of the other arguments, like because you brought up earlier, like you think that I disrespect the country. And I asked you, how do I disrespect the country? And then you provided no response as to how I disrespect the country.
You don't respect the country because, I mean, to respect the country, you respect the president regardless of their political affiliation is the start of it, correct?
No,
or were we raised differently?
Maybe. I mean, I grew up in a conservative Christian household. If you want to talk about this, I don't think that just because we have a president, that means that we have to respect that president. I think to engage in that freedom of speech and say that I do not respect the president of the United States because I heavily disagree with the actions that they've engaged in, right? And that's the specific points that I would bring up. I don't think that's disrespectful to the country. I think that's important for open dialogue and communication and conversation within our country. And I don't think that you saying that I shouldn't have the positions that I have is going to be beneficial to the country. I actually think that's disrespectful to the country because I think that if you cared about open dialogue, you would want me to come on this platform and engage in these conversations in front of over 11,000 people.
what scares me is that you don't celebrate any good wins. You actually look down on them. You will find anything bad in a news cycle. There could be the best news cycle of the day or of the month, and you find the worst thing, and that's what you focus on. And that's what makes me think you hate the United States of America. What also makes me think you hate the United States of America is I've been sitting on here a while waiting to get it on. All you've let on is men. That's really strange to me. But it also makes me realize that you realize the difference between men and women because you've only let men on this.
Then why would I let you on, Lauren? I let on mostly men because mostly men request, and I randomly accept people, and they happen to mostly be men because men disproportionately like Trump to a greater extent, and women disproportionately are against Trump to a greater extent. That's literally all it is. It's that disproportionately men support Trump, and that's why disproportionately men debate me on the live. But I have no issue with debating women on the live. That's why you're on the live debating me right now.
So you believe there's a difference between men and women?
Of course.
Yeah?
Yeah?
Is that a new take?
No.
I feel like I thought there was no difference with you. I could be wrong. And if
What
you're
do you mean?
not.
Men and women are two different categories.
Yes.
So
they
of
are
course there's some
completely
distinction
different
between men and women.
So
Like
can I
men and
ask
women
you how
aren't
you
distinct
feel
within
about-
all categories, but they are distinct in some categories. That's why we have a difference in the way that we refer to them.
Can I ask you how you feel about how AOC responded to Riley, whatever her name is, this past week?
I haven't seen how AOC responded to.
You're
the
on
person
Twitter all
referencing.
goddamn day. You know exactly how she responded.
I actually haven't opened Twitter in a long
She gave
time.
her shit. You know what I'm saying, right? Riley, who's the swimmer? She's a really good swimmer.
Riley Gaines? I don't know specifically. I was in New York for the past few days.
Right. So she advocates for women in sports. How do you feel about that topic in general? Can I ask you that?
Well, I think that trans women should be allowed to compete in women's sports, given that they've been on multiple years of HRT, right? Because I don't think that it is the case that provides a specific unfair biological advantage to someone. And I also don't think that it's any issue that even needs to be addressed on a national perspective. There are less trans people in the NCAA than there are sexual assault allegations against Donald Trump from different women. I think it's a non-issue from a national perspective.
So you think men should be able to compete in women's? I mean, like,
well, I don't think that trans women are men. I think trans women are women.
That's the most insane thing to say in 2025. Well, not 2020.
That's not an insane thing to say.
But that's why Donald Trump was elected again. I hope do you understand that that's a really big reason why Kamala Harris lost? I was about to say Joe Biden because it was Joe Biden up until, what was it, 106 days? I read her book, Juicy. Was it 107 days or 106?
107.
107?
Kamala Harris didn't even talk about this, by the way.
Lost. What?
She didn't even talk about this.
Of course she didn't, because she was horrified of the subject and she couldn't confront it, and she was losing on that aspect. If she spoke about it,
if she never talked about it, then she couldn't be. Then it wouldn't be.
No, she didn't talk about it for a reason. Every single interview she went into was pre-screened.
Well, I think that she should have talked about it. I agree that she should have talked about it. Like, I'm not disputing on it. It's actually a critique that I have. That's a critique that I have of Kamala Harris. That I think that she. Do you think
she would have won if she went in with her perspective?
I don't know. I don't know. I can't use a crystal ball to be able to identify.
I don't think she would.
Can I address some of the things that you've said, though? Can I address some of the things you said, though? You said that I focus specifically on the worst, right? I talk about things that I have agreed with Trump doing, like specifically Operation Warp Speed. I've talked about how I agree with the deductions in terms of no tax on tips and overtime and the tax cuts on income under $400,000 a year. I think that those are things that I've addressed practically every single day on my live stream. I think it's that you just specifically focus on me addressing the things that are the worst, because it is the case that you only want me to bring up things that are
only things you talk about on TikTok. It's the only things you talk about are the bad things. It's the only thing. So how am I supposed to know the good things you like?
Want to know why? Because we're in a debate and we have conversations about things.
No, I'm not talking about a debate. I'm talking about your TikToks that influence people, which is why I think you're paid by the RNC, because you're so bad at influencing people.
Stop. My TikToks.
No, it's impossible.
Listen. My TikToks are debates. Okay, so when we debate,
your TikToks are not debates.
Yes, they are. These are debates.
It's you in a singular video.
Can I please explain? It's me debating people.
That's it.
Every single one of my TikToks is me debating
your
people.
TikTok lives are different than your TikToks.
My TikToks are all just clips from my live.
Not all of them.
Practically every single one. I haven't even posted other content other than that. Then like since what happened with Charlie Kirk, I post only debate stuff.
Back to Charlie Kirk.
Well, I was just telling you. Like,
No,
seriously,
no.
I post debate stuff. You can literally look at my page. I post all debate stuff.
Do you think Charlie Kirk had a point?
Can you? Do I think a point with what?
Everything he said.
Do I think he? No, I think in general I would disagree that he had a point in most circumstances. But sir, did he have some points that I would probably agree with? Maybe you could find one out of the million different points that he made that I would possibly agree with. But I think on most things I disagree with. Can I please finish any of my statements? I think on most statements I disagree with him on most things. So if we talk about, like, again, what we were talking about, because you just moved us off of this, is that if we're talking about, you think that I'm paid by the RNC, you think I'm paid by the DNC.
You are. You have to be.
What evidence do you have that I'm paid by the RNC or the DNC?
Because there's no way that they would platform someone who would invite someone to the White House who's so bizarre. You were so bad for the DNC that I'm convinced that you literally turned people off this last election. Like who's that little like tripod you had? Harry.
How did I turn
you,
people
Harry,
away?
and Dean? Because you guys sounded like psychopaths.
How?
You guys sounded like complete psychopaths. The way you say your subjects, the way you yell, the way you came up with things, like your ideas were insane. And the worst part is that I don't think you even believe them yourself. And that's why I'm like, I changed my position completely on you. I'm like, this kid's getting paid by the RNC. There's no way that a male do you have a girlfriend, right?
Mm-hmm.
You have to be I am so convinced you are paid by the RNC because it makes the DNC
because
look
I have
so
a girlfriend. And, okay,
no. I'm saying.
You're not telling me how I make
the DNC look so bad.
How?
You make the DNC look so bad because of all of your points and your claims. Like,
Can you be specific? Tell me something in specific.
You believe that men should compete in women's sports. Let's start there.
So because I believe that trans women should be allowed to compete in women's sports after multiple years of HRT, you're saying that I'm paid by the RNC. This is insane. This is getting to
because no one agrees with it. No one agrees with it.
Lauren, please let me speak. I'm trying to respond.
No one agrees with it.
Yes, there are people that agree with my position.
Yeah.
Let me please finish.
The psychotic liberal.
Lauren, can I please finish?
Guy.
Okay. So I have an actual position, and you're saying because I have an actual position that somehow I'm paid by the RNC just because I have a position. I'm sorry, I have values and principles that I hold to. That's my values. Those are my views. And I debate them constantly on the live stream. We have conversations about this all the time. Me having a different opinion than you does not mean that I'm paid by the DNC. This is so dishonest and it's disunifying to our country for you to think that just because people are content creators and they have different positions as you, they are specifically paid by interest to be on this position in the first place. It's ridiculous. Literally, genuinely,
honestly making you feel more justified. It's so triggering to you. Like, you have to be paid by the RNC.
Okay, well, you're just going to keep claiming it, right, without any evidence.
Yeah,
so at this point, you won't even change your mind. You won't change your mind based on anything.
I mean, you won't change your mind on anything. You still believe men belong in women's sports.
Again, trans women are women. Now, secondly, in terms of this, again, me just having
two genders.
Listen,
there's two genders. It's called science.
Lauren, do I need to mute you? Do I need to mute you?
Is that all you got? Charlie Kirk never muted anyone.
If you keep screaming over me, then I won't be able to.
Charlie Kirk never muted anyone.
He kicked me out of the event. Yes, he did. He kicked me out of the event in 6 minutes.
And you didn't go to the school.
What do you mean I wasn't? Yes.
Because you didn't go to the school.
Wait, he lets people talk to him.
You didn't go to the school.
The person that talked to him after me didn't go to the school either.
Holy shit.
I talked to them in the line. You know,
were they an RNC figure as well? Were they an RNC?
Okay, I'm sorry. You know that he specifically didn't have this thing of you have to be a student until I started showing up?
Because you came with zero claims looking for fight and fucking clickbait.
No, because I specifically wanted to debate him because he wouldn't have a long-form conversation with me.
Charlie, I hope you understand that he kicked your ass in every single debate. You had zero.
Name one point he beat me on.
All you brought up was hypotheticals.
Name one point he beat me on.
Abortion.
What specifically on abortion?
Men and women's sports.
We never talked about that. Can you talk about what specifically on abortion? No, we didn't. We never talked about that.
All right, so you're
lying. No, we never talked about that. We never talked about sports. Wait, Charlie and I. Wait, I'm sorry, Lauren. Charlie and I never talked about.
What did you mostly debate on?
Lauren.
Tell me.
Lauren, listen. You made that up. I never talked to him about sports ever. I never did once.
Okay.
Do you want?
What about some women's spaces?
Wait, hold on. Do you want to put money
women's
on that?
spaces?
Do you want to put money on that? I never even talked about sports ever.
Yes, I would put money on that. Women's
Okay,
spaces.
How much do you want to put on the fact that I never talked
how much
to Charlie
money?
Kirk?
How much did you beg for in this
How much
stream?
do you want to?
How much money did you make for in this stream?
I don't know. How much do you? How much?
You don't know?
No, I don't.
I mean,
How
I'm
much
sure
do you-
there's not a number at the top of the screen.
Oh my god. Oh my god. Can you speak?
I'm rage baiting the rage baiter. Have a good night. Fuck you. If I were you, regardless, I hope you stay safe.
Run away. You're scared because you can't engage in conversation. Romy, thank you for the $100 from the DNC. Thank you so much, Romy. I really appreciate it. Thank you. MV, thank you for the $10. Thank you so much, MV. I really appreciate it. Thank you. Get some W's for MV in the comment section. Catherine, thank you for the $20 from the RNC. Thank you so much. Orange, thank you for the $5. Thank you. Aiden, thank you so much for the $2. Paula, thank you for the $1. Madison, thank you for the $1. Alyssa, thank you so much for the $3 from the RNC. Brenton with the $10. Sophie, thank you for the $5 from the RNC. Thank you. And for the $1. Julie, thank you for the $3. Thank you so much. Elliot, thank you for the $1. I really appreciate it. Thank you. Put some W's for them in the comment section. Jody with the $3. Thank you so much. Danielle, thank you for the $5. Jesse, thank you so much for the $1. Really appreciate it. John with the $4.20. Diamond with the $2. Abraham, thank you so much. I really appreciate the $5 from the RNC. Jesse, thank you for the $3. Jesse with the $1. Thank you so much. Zane, thank you for the $1. Callie, thank you for the $5. I really appreciate it. Thank you. I genuinely don't understand. Like she was saying that I looked bad for the Democratic Party, but wouldn't engage in any actual dialogue with me, and simply said because I had different positions as her that it is the case that I am paid by the RNC somehow. Taka, thank you for the $5. Thank you. It's crazy. I genuinely don't understand why someone would seriously do that.